Coming to you live from my apartment, it's Rob Has a Podcast. And now here's the guy who has a framed picture of Jody up in his house. I'm Rob Cesternino. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our episode 7 recap of Big Brother 17. It is Wednesday night. We are live, and we've got a great show here tonight because joining us tonight live from parts unknown, here is from Big Brother 15, Judd Party Daugherty.
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing tonight?
Yes, and Judd, you are outside. Paint the picture of where you are for the people that are listening to the audio version of this podcast.
I'm in Tennessee. Outside. That's basically it. So you can hear like the bugs and stuff. I'm not in no jungle or anything. I'm not in the Amazon, no Rob Cesternino, but just chilling in Tennessee.
This might be the first podcast we've ever done where you could hear bugs.
I didn't even think about that before it came out, but hopefully it's not a problem. Let us know if it is.
Let us know if people are freaking out that they're hearing bugs. It's not ideally.
Once I start getting bit, I'll be bringing my ass in anyways. So.
Okay, good. But I think it paints the picture, this ambiance to have Judd, and you can imagine where he is outside as you're listening to the audio version of this podcast. And then here with us to talk about everything that's been going on the live feeds, and we're going to have one heck of a live feed segment tonight. Here is our good friend Alex Kidwell. Alex, how are you?
I'm doing great, Rob. Boy, you're not kidding. It's been a crazy whirlwind of a couple days in the Big Brother house, and it's interesting. I'm the correspondent, but Judd is the one looking like an embedded journalist right now out in the field. So
yeah,
I give him points for that.
Not for anything. We did the podcast on Monday where I talked to Matthew Barry, and then I took voicemails with Alex. And really, since we hung up the phone on Monday, there's been a lot of moving and shaking in the Big Brother 17 house. So we'll talk about all of that as well. Don't forget, tomorrow night we'll be live with Ian Terry after the eviction. That's going to be at 10:15 p.m. Eastern, 7:15 p.m. Pacific, all at robhasawebsite.com. All right, Judd, let's get into it tonight. And this was really the story of the veto competition. Johnny Mac winning that veto, taking himself off of the block, despite what Shelley and Clay wanted to do, and then a renomination of Meg here on the Wednesday night show. Just talk to me, big picture. What's been your take on Johnny Mac so far?
Johnny Mac right now is probably my favorite player. Austin tonight kind of came up there with him, with that big movie he made. But, I like Johnny Mac. I can see him making, some really tight alliance that's going to, really help him out, right before jury or something. I think he's my favorite. He's a good character in the DR. He's just a real genuine guy, and he did hold his deal. But, he won that POV, and he could always just say, you know what, I couldn't use that because what if they voted me out, then I look like the stupidest person in Big Brother history, You know those things, like on Survivor and Big Brother when, the Marcellus thing, all those different things that people do. He could always just use that and be like, I don't want to end up like that, and they would understand. I like him a lot, though. I'm so glad he won the veto. I was stoked when I heard it on Twitter, actually. I've been watching the feeds a little bit, but only here and there. But I heard that, and I was like, hell yeah, J-Mac. I call him J-Mac.
Cool. So is it an idea that's even worth entertaining if you're Johnny Mac, or do you just give the answer like he did tonight in the diary room?
No!
Yeah, I agree with him 100%. No! Yeah, come on, man.
No!
He's too smart, yeah. He's worked too hard to get in that house to go out that dumb, He's not that dumb. It's almost a slap in the face.
Right.
Ask.
Right. So for Johnny Mac, and this was your game certainly in the Big Brother house, how important is likability with the other house guests, even more so than really strategizing at this point in the game?
Yeah, I think it's really important. You need to build those relationships because then, I don't know, social game in such a small house is really, really important because you're so bored in there, and if people feel like they can relate and talk to you on a personal level, not only about game, then they're not going to target you as much. You know what I mean? After a while, though, whenever you're friends with everybody, people get friendship confused with alliances, and then they might come after you. And that's kind of what happened with me a bit. So I hope that he doesn't make the same mistake that I did. But I could see him working with like Becky and maybe like Liz, Austin, and Vanessa. I get their names mixed up sometimes. But especially the J names, there's a million of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could see him making like a move like that and getting, because I can see a lot of different sides forming in this house after the main targets go home, or the main targets even making their way into those alliances or even creating them. So I see Johnny Mac being smart about it, though. He's a smart guy.
Now, Judd, if you're a guy like Johnny Mac in the Big Brother house, how can you tell when you're in a friendship, and how can you tell when you're in an alliance? And how can you tell when you're in an alliance that's called the friendship?
Exactly, and I feel like I almost started out the same way as Johnny Mac. We didn't have the battle of the block, or I feel like I could have possibly been in that same situation as him. I think that people, as long he's going to know that it's just friendship and not an alliance, but the people that he's talking to are going to get confused. The people that see it going on, you know, I could see like Amanda see me and with like hail in an ear, and she'd be like, "What the fuck is going on?" You know. When it's just friendship, but it still makes it look like something. So you still need to keep your distance to a certain point and don't look shady. Keep doors open, you know, things like that. If it's not an alliance, you know how it works.
So Johnny Mac ultimately wins this veto here tonight. He doesn't want to stay up on the block, and who could blame him? Do you think that he has put some more attention on himself than he may have wanted to do by winning this veto? Does he, if his game is to sort of be under the radar and not be noticed, would he have been better off just to remain the pawn this week?
You know, he may have been better off, but he could always blame all of this on Shelly and Clay, which I think would be bigger targets than him anyways. You know, he could just be like, you know, I felt pressured by Shelly and Clay, and I didn't know if they were going to flip the house on me or what. So I felt like my life was on the line, and I had to try to win. You know what I mean? I think he could really do a good job convincing a few people. I think he's smarter than a lot of other people in the house, and he's really underestimated. You know, people think just because you have a crazy voice or crazy accent or something that you don't know what the hell's going on, but he knows what's going on. You know, he's a smart dude, and I think we're going to see a lot of that in this game.
The Shelly and Clay thing has been so over the top now in the house. Like, it's not even just like a flirtmance at this point. It's somewhere in between a flirtmance and a showmance. Obviously, you played with McCranda, and you were around a real couple in the Big Brother house. What is that like when you see two people first getting together in the house? Especially people in positions of power.
Exactly. You know, I really like Shelly. She was one of my favorite players. She still is. You know, I don't really agree with how she went about this week. But, you know, it's her game. It's not mine. I love Shelly. Clay, he's all right himself. But, you know, at first I heard that he was sleeping downstairs still. I heard that from feeders. And is that true? Like at the beginning, like clearly tonight we sent them in the bed together. But at the beginning, I thought that was really smart if he was. But, you know, they're also in Big Brother, and she has the HOH room. They need to take advantage of that, too. And no telling what they slip up and do whenever we're not paying attention. And that's a smart move for him, like, as a dude, but I don't know as a game player.
Smart
you know?
move as a dude.
Yeah, as a dude, but not maybe as a game player, because they look like a super alliance, like a Jeremy and Caitlyn or something. You know, like, they're always going to be put on the block together. They've made themselves a duo now. Like, whether they like it or not, you can't just make yourself not a duo. You know, they're more of a duo than Jackie and Jeff.
Alex, could you just speak a little bit about the Shelly and Clay relationship and how much they are seen as a pair by the other people in the house?
Sure. Yeah, I think most people are pretty aware of them being close. I don't think it's really a big secret. I think most people would recognize them as a pair. And it's interesting, like, Shelly doesn't want to even really, like, kiss on TV. So it's, like, the most PG of showmances. But it really could end up hurting both their games. And I think they spent too much time, the two of them alone, up in HOH this week. And, you know, Austin used it in his pitch. They're talking about you being isolated up here. And that's, Rob, that speaks to your survivor laws of power. Don't isolate yourself. Isolation is dangerous, right?
The fortress scene, and I'm not talking about this. The fortress is a dangerous place. You think it's safe. You're like, oh, let me hide in a fortress so nobody can get me. But then when you're off hiding in a fortress, everybody else is talking. So you don't want to isolate yourself. from the rest of the people. And you've seen a lot of really great Big Brother players say like, "Oh, I'm HOH. Use my HOH room. Go ahead. I'm gonna stay sleeping with you guys." And you want to make keep in contact because information is everything in that house, right, Judd?
Yeah, absolutely. And use the HOH room to be like, hey, this is everyone's room. Come up here anytime you like. You know what I mean? Like, use the HOH room for that reason. Take a nap downstairs here and there. Don't act like you're HOH-itis. I'm not saying Shelly has that completely, but I mean, yeah, don't isolate yourself. 100% I agree with that. They should be mingling with people more than ever because she's not going to be HOH at all next week. And Clay has got, like, what, 1 in 13 chance? So, yeah. So, 1 in 13 chance. Wow, I'm getting good at math lately.
Yeah. Judd, how would you grade Shelly's HOH stint so far?
Well, I think that Clay's not the smartest of guys as far as Big Brothers goes. And I feel like she's listening to him a bit more than she should. It kind of looks like she's making her own move, but at the same time, I almost feel like it's a personal move because Clay and Devon don't get along, and she might come after them. Of course she's going to come after him now that she's on the block. I mean, that's a given. But at the same time, you could be talking to Devon just in case something happens. Don't just write her off right now just because that's what you want to happen. Still be talking to her and just be like, it's not over yet, and I didn't want you to go out like this, and encourage her and don't make yourself a target. You're still got to play. You still have to play this game even if you're on the block or if you're HOH. It's the same way either way.
When we walk away from this week, and if Devon does get out of the house, was this a successful use of the HOH week for Shelly? Is she that much better off 1 week later than before she won that HOH?
I don't think so. I think that she's almost put a target on herself with Liz now. I mean, if they don't work together, Liz is going to think, well, you put me on the block. That's an easy way for me to put you on the block. You know what I mean? So, or not, she didn't put her on there, but she talked about it. It was like set in stone until Austin made up that lie. So, I mean, that's still the same. I mean, she's going to, like, that's almost like putting up a whole nother nominee, even though she didn't put her up.
Putting up 2 other nominees if they both get in the house.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, that's pissing more people off. Like, she got way more blood on her hands than she had to. Like, she should have thought things over a lot more and not talked to so many people until she made up her mind.
That's the best thing about that red toilet paper is if you get the blood on your hands, and then that's perfect.
Exactly.
That's why Kathy Griffin uses it. That's for the VIPs. The celebrities use that.
Yeah, people just think it's water and stuff,
So let's talk about that move that Austin made. Now, did you like that movie? Obviously, you liked it because you mentioned it, how good it was. For Austin, what was it that you liked so much about it? That he kept his ally in Liz off of the block?
Yeah, and let me slip this in here real fast. I had a picture of me and Austin from 2 years ago. I have no idea who he is. Like, I was trash because I didn't drink for 3 months, and it was the first time I had drank. I do not remember taking that picture. I taken a billion pictures. I just thought it was funny that picture was there. So, me and Austin do not know each other. But it's on my Instagram. You just have to look at it.
So Austin was just at a party, or this is at the...
He was at the RHAP party at Club 11 that they have Rachel and Ryan Carrillo through it. You meet so many people, you take so many pictures. I just want to throw that out there real quick because I do like Austin now, and I don't want people to think it's because I might possibly know him or something.
No nepotism.
But I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, he's from California. It's open to the public. Like, it's no big thing. But
no big deal.
Austin had to save the one person he trusted the most. He thought about it, and, it's so annoying when people are in that middle room being loud or in any room, and he could hear them and stuff, and, he made that into a game move, and I think it's probably I think it is the best game move so far because he's telling Shelly that Meg, who else? James, Jason, and I feel like I'm forgetting somebody.
Jeff.
James, Meg, and Jeff, yeah, that they're against them pretty much, that they want them gone. So that was a smart move to get his main ally off the block before she even got on it. And, also turning them against other people other than them, because now they're going to trust Liz and they're going to trust Austin and they're not going to trust these 4 people.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think it was a smart, brilliant move. I applaud him for that.
Well, let me just play devil's advocate here. Isn't that taking a page out of the Audrey book of making up this story? And if Shelley is able to go back and have a conversation with Meg at some point, I mean, it's a lot of people that she is saying, or that it is being alleged, are having those conversations. And if that story doesn't check out, does that put a target on Austin the same way that Audrey has had a lot of her stories not check out?
Right, it could, but I think that them isolating themselves is another thing that makes that believable to them.
Yeah.
You know, because they're gonna think, oh yeah, what's been going on while we're up here? You know what I'm saying? Like now they're gonna be super paranoid because the littlest thing makes you super paranoid in the house. You know what I mean? Just the smallest thing, like somebody's like, why are you brushing your teeth on? Like, why the fuck do you want to know? Like, you want to have a conversation in the bathroom? You know, just little things like that. So they got to be, like, shitting their pants right now about those four, thinking that's some alliance or something.
Yeah, and family podcast, Judd. Family podcast that we're trying. I know Big Brother is it gets us all very excited, but we'll try to keep it a little cleaner.
What are you talking about? A cigarette?
No. The cursing.
Oh, I didn't even know I cursed.
It's okay. It's okay.
My bad. Sorry, y'all.
No worries,
Sorry, kids.
no worries,
Earmuffs,
buddy.
kids.
We have a lot of kids watch Big Brother.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I used to be one of them kids.
So with this move of overhearing allegedly what's going on. By the way, that seems like a weird scene going on in that bed at 5 o'clock in the morning with Meg and Jason and James and Jeff. What is going on there?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd be telling them to shut the hell up. No, I'd be wanting Gina Marie to tell them to shut the hell up because I wouldn't ever say shut the hell up because, you know, I wouldn't want to piss anybody off and have them target me.
I'm trying to sleep over here.
Yeah, Gina Marie, do you hear them? You know, and
You cockroaches better shut up.
yeah, you cockroaches, you little scrubs, get the hell to sleep. Get
Fix your own chicken palm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best, the chicken palm.
Yeah, no chicken palm for you guys. You're keeping me up. So
that's the best. Yeah, it's because that room especially is so open, and it kind of echoes. It's open to the rest of the house, you know. And I would be so mad at 5 in the morning if people were in there being loud if I was trying to get to sleep. I didn't really sleep that much, so it actually probably never would have bothered me. I probably would have been in that room. But yeah, that was smart, Austin, though. Very smart.
Yeah.
Do you guys think so? Is it just me? Like,
I thought it was good, but I felt like it was a little bit dangerous, and I feel like that. Again, to me, I'm just not sure how valuable an asset Liz is in all this. Alex, you have a better read on all of this. Is that the end of the world to lose Liz? Like, I didn't feel like Liz is in that much danger, so it seemed like that Austin was potentially overextending himself to save Liz on a week where she's not in much danger.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, I think, you know, to an extent, I agree with both of you. I mean, I think Austin, I liked what he did. I think this is a good example of, Rob, you talk about a lot on Survivor, how the best lies have a nugget of truth there. And that's what Judd was talking about. You know, this is a lie that is not only believable, but, I mean, people have been talking, they have been isolating themselves. This is totally based in truth. And then, you know, beyond that, I do agree also with what you're saying, that Liz is probably not as big of an asset to Austin's game as Austin thinks she is, because she's kind of doubling down over there with Jeff, who wants to get Austin out. And then not only that, but yeah, I mean, if she had gone up, well, that's the thing. It's like if she had gone up, who knows what could have happened.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Cool. And also, if you have somebody that you trust in that game, that means a lot. You know what I mean? So you don't want to lose them, you know? Like, if I lost McCrae or, like, Alyssa that early, or even Amanda at that point, that would have been, like, horrible to my game, you know? So that's what, if he feels that he can trust her, like, he doesn't see what we see, you know what I mean? So that's a big deal to him. And he already lost Jace.
Yes. All right. Let's talk about Audrey. Let's do our nightly Audrey check-in here. First off, Judd, we haven't talked to you all season yet. So just give us your thoughts on Audrey so far through 2 weeks of Big Brother 17.
Well, you know, preseason, I thought Audrey was going to be probably the person to beat in the game. And I thought she was going to have a really good strategy, which she did at first, but it just became way too much. You know, it's like she got possessed by Devon for a second or something. It's just like, what the hell's going on, Audrey? Like, I don't know. Like, I thought you were brilliant. Now you're, like, walking on thin ice, like, ice skates right now. Like, you're ice skating on thin ice. And, you know, and they all know about it now. And, you know, that could maybe – I think her coffin's not completely closed right now. I think that she's the type of player that could weasel her way into an alliance that needs some numbers. And I think that's what's going to happen, you know, since she's not winning. I think it would have been smart to get her out this week because I think that she's going to weasel her way in with somebody. And she's going to apologize. She's going to put on the waterworks. She's going to do anything she has to do. She's a player, and I think she watches some of the international versions too. So she knows what to do. She knows she screwed up. She can still fix it, you know. One day in that house feels like a week, you know. So it just takes one day of, like, talking to people and making a new alliance, and her game could be fixed, but I don't know. She broke a lot of trust with a lot of people, everybody. So it's also smart to keep somebody like that in the game because they're always going to be a target over you more than likely. So that's also a factor that I looked at. And, you know, I do like Shelly. She is one of my favorites. And not just because she's so hot, but I think she's a smart girl, you know. I've seen her on the feeds, like, talking to Vanessa, like, getting some info about the days and stuff. That was smart, you know. Kind of moving around a little bit, you know. She wasn't isolating herself that night that I watched it. So, yeah, I think that Audrey, she can still play this game. Don't nail that coffin just yet.
See,
she's not my favorite at all, though. I'd love to see Audrey go.
I was where you were a few days ago, and I felt like, you know what? They let Audrey slip. They had her cornered. They let her slip away. She's going to regroup. She's going to be back with a vengeance, and don't be surprised if she might be somebody that really makes a shot at this thing, is going to get a second wind in this game.
Yeah.
After tonight, when she's going off and saying to Clay, "Are you effing kidding me?" when he's trying to have that conversation with her, I don't know. I just think that she's too far out there to be anybody that can make a run in this game. She's so unstable. She's so unable to just. I mean, she got the miracle of all miracles this week, that she stayed in the house, and the fact that she is not kissing the ground that Clay and Shelly walk on in this house is mind-blowing to me. Talk to me. Let's tie it all together. I want to talk to you about Clay and Shelly and this idea of Devon is the bigger target. We can keep Audrey around in the house. We can work with Audrey, and we can move forward. How much of a miscalculation do you think, if it is at all, in your opinion, is it for these two people to be keeping Audrey in the house and relying on her as a person who will not stab them in the back?
Yeah, I think it's a huge mistake right now, you know, because Audrey, I think, is physically, mentally, everything stronger than Devon. Like, Devon, I wouldn't be threatened by her. The only thing I think that I would be threatened by, and maybe they are too, is her mouth. You know, her mouth gets her in trouble, and they're afraid that could hurt them at some point. You know, her big loud mouth going around, calling people out and stuff. That makes people so uncomfortable in the game because you don't know if they're going to do that to you at some point, or if they're going to drag your name into that. So your heart's racing when people are calling people out because you don't know if you're going to be involved in it. And I think that could be a factor. I know it would be with me. But at the same time, I think that they might really regret not getting rid of Audrey because she could get with those 4 people that they think are against them, even though they're not against them that I know of. I've not been watching the feeds this week, so besides here and there.
Yeah.
So she could get with them, and she could really, like, make them regret their decision this week. And it's also kind of going against the house in a way, which I kind of like, you know, because Shelly's making her own move, not to make the whole house happy and stuff, which I can respect, but at the same time, it could also rub people the wrong way.
Audrey had compared her game before the season to Dexter Morgan, but I don't think she's Dexter Morgan. I feel like if I was going to say any TV character if I was gonna assign her. I think she's. Did you ever watch 24, Judd?
No, I didn't.
Alex, did you?
It's just bits and pieces. That's one on my list.
I think she's Nina Myers, and I don't think you can ever trust her, and I don't think you can ever work with her because she'll just tell you whatever you want to hear to work with you, and then a second later she's just gonna stab you in the back, and there's no trust that you can build with Audrey in the house, and I thought she was going to. She put her hand on the stove. She got burned. She was going to come back from this, but I just don't think she has any other gear than just playing this thing full tilt. I don't think she can do it any other way.
True.
So it's so interesting to me. By the way, what did this mean? She was talking, Clay was like, just want to make sure you're with us. You promise? You promise you're with us? She's like, Clay, I'm sure. Clay, of course, 100%, 1,000,000%. I would never. And again, that's another tell. Anytime anybody is more than 100%, I'm always suspect of that. And she's like, she's saying look, we got this. Don't worry, I'm with you guys. I would never turn on you guys. And then she tells us this in the diary room.
Whatever it takes, Thunderbuns.
Yeah, what is that?
Whatever it takes, Thunder Bodies?
The Thunder Buns.
Oh, Thunder Buns. I thought she said Thunder Bodies. I was like, what's that mean?
I don't know. Let's check.
Whatever it takes, Thunderbuns.
Yeah, man, that's like. What is that?
I don't know.
Thunder Buns.
I don't know. She's not kissing their ass. I don't think they're kissing hers.
No, she is. Listen.
Whatever it takes, Thunderbuns.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's not doing a good job because she's acting like he's patronizing her after they're talking. She's like, why are you talking to me? It's like, what? Why are you talking? Don't question him if I don't know. Replacement Nom hadn't been up yet, and I was just like,
I don't know.
Maybe she should practice her Thunderbun kissing more. Don't question the person kissing their ass.
All right. Let me see. Scott, can we get maybe a couple of questions up before we get into talking about the live feeds from tonight? Let's see if we have some spoiler-free questions, and then I want to bring in the live feeds because we got a lot of business to take care of there. This is from Jer Martin, who says, who is the Judd character of the season, and why can this person win this season? Who's the Judd out there?
Are you asking me or Alex?
I'm asking you. Who's the Judd this season?
I've been hearing Johnny Mag.
Johnny Mac.
Yeah, and I thought it would be James, but I think he's more of a Caleb.
Okay. James is more of the Beast Mode Cowboy?
Yeah, I think he even sounds like him. I don't think I'm that much like James.
At the
but
end
I don't
of the
know.
day.
I get Johnny Mac way more than James.
All right. Let's go to Zachary Zarnett Klein says, can you compare Amanda and Audrey's game? Judd, can you do that for us?
Yeah, I'm hella suspicious. I'm like, are you trying to be Amanda or something? I'm confused. She sleeps in the same bed Amanda used to sleep in. Somebody sent me a clip from the feeds because they were talking to me. Somebody sent it to me through a text message. And at the very end, you could hear Audrey saying, did you guys like Amanda or no? And I'm just like, come on. What is it? What's this infatuation? I feel like she secretly wanted to play Amanda's game. And she went in there guns blazing. Amanda didn't blaze them guns till a little while, so I don't know. I think she's trying to be like her. I really honestly do.
Trying to be like Amanda.
I think she's trying to play like Amanda or be like Amanda or something. It's something, I don't know.
No,
I don't really watch Audrey on the feed. I always turn it. You can see that?
Yeah. And then also, when she was wearing that flower crown, that was exactly the kind of thing Amanda was rocking all the time. So that
Amanda used to sell those.
Yeah, exactly.
She used to sell them?
Right. Yeah,
I bought it from Amanda's website.
Yeah.
Did Amanda buy them? Or did Audrey buy one?
Maybe, maybe it's from Amanda's site. That would make some sense, actually.
Yeah. Well, she should have gotten a bear shirt while she was at it.
I know, right? She picked the wrong decor.
Yeah. Okay. This is from Austin Salyer. Do you guys think that Johnny Mac's veto win will make people stop putting him up as a pawn every week? Do you think that is a good deterrent for people that want to put him up in the battle of the block or as a pawn, that he can win a competition? Is that a good deterrent?
I think it is, but at the same time, I think that they're going to look at him as somebody that's going to be loyal and throw it if he needs to. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I could even see where it could make him a target at a certain point. You know what I mean? Because they're going to use that against him. People will use anything against you if you look at them the wrong way. So they can always use any competition win. I don't know though. Johnny Mac's smart, and I think he's gonna. I don't think it's really gonna hurt his game or help his game at all.
Yes.
I don't think so.
I've got an idea. Why don't you guys just stop putting me on the block? Please.
Yeah, that's a good idea. They need to stop putting him on the block.
No. No more. Okay.
They need to stop putting him on the block. He's my favorite, but
Stop doing it.
Yeah.
Dominic
It's going to backfire on him after a while.
Is it just me, or do the twins talk to each other like Natalie and Nadia? Is there a secret twin language that us single births don't know about it? I've never been referred to as a single birth before. So did you feel like that there was any sort of Natalie and Nadia vibe from Liz and Julia tonight?
Come on, Tweenie, let's go!
Do they refer each other to
I reckon so a little bit, but, you know, they're like, I don't know. They're Liz and Julia. You know, they're new school. So I think they're way better characters than Adria and Natalie, for sure.
No, well, no, not.
And they're way hotter.
Other twinnies. I'm not talking about Natalie and Adria. Natalie and Nadia.
I can't read that so little. Oh, yeah, sorry.
Oh my God,
yeah, I think they do have I just threw out names and I didn't even have to. Yeah, I think for sure. I know lots of twins and. It's super creepy how they communicate and stuff. Like, I don't know. It's really weird to me, bizarre. Like, I don't know.
James isn't a twin, is he?
Little alien. Huh?
Is James a twin?
I don't know. I know that J-Mac is because I seen his brother on Twitter.
Johnny Mac has a twin?
Yeah, an identical twin.
Oh my God.
Unless it's like a parody or something.
I think it's a parody account. Yeah. I think when a twin was announced, Donnie Mac, the podiatrist, showed up on Twitter, and I think it was a troll account.
Oh, so that was fake?
Wait, so does Johnny Mac have a twin?
No!
Okay. Good to know.
Okay.
Okay, let's do one more, and then let's get into live feeds. Riot Maker wants to know, is Austin one of the first ever big BB guys to actually lay low? Judd, is that a first large man in the Big Brother house to lay low?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think right now. The first person that comes to mind is Jeremy, and he definitely didn't lay low. Who else was a big guy? Like, Nick season 8? He's kind of big, huh? Zach on 8 also. I don't know. Like,
I mean,
that's a weird question. I don't even know how to answer that. What do you say, Alex?
The two names that come to mind, and I don't know if you'd consider them big guys, but I'd say Hayden and Drew from Big Brother 5, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And they're athletic, if not huge, you know. So.
All right. Well,
yeah,
let's
athletic. I just kind of think of like a 6'5" like beast, you know.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into it. Time to talk about what's going on the live feeds. If you are going to hop out here, don't forget to come back after the eviction, our Thursday show. Ian Terry will be back with us on Thursday night, 10:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Let's get to the spoilers.
The Office of Civil Defense has issued the following message. This is
a spoiler.
Warning.
A spoiler.
Warning means that an actual
spoiler
against this country has been detected and that protective action should be taken.
Yes, spoiler time. All right, we've got a lot to unpack as the battle between Devon and Meg goes to the back burner as it's time to talk about what's going on with our creepy twins. Alex, take us through the latest with Twingate.
Yeah, that's the big news right now in the Big Brother house, Rob. The twins have been exposed, and the fallout has been fascinating, entertaining, wonderful, great TV.
All right, so over the last 48 hours, some of the house guests have started to realize that there may, in fact, be 2 Liz's in the game. Take us through the discovery and then talk us through what's been going on.
Okay, sure. So I think it was June 26th, so it's like 2 weeks ago, the Day first started speculating that Liz looks different some days. So this has been something that Day's like kind of had her finger on for a long time now. And it wasn't until literally immediately following a switch on Monday, if I'm remembering it right, I don't know, it's been such a whirlwind the last couple of days, but I'm pretty sure Monday, that they had just switched, and Day kind of noticed a difference in terms of appearance and called it out to Jason. And they really, the more they talked, the more they were sure. And Jason, unfortunately, then kind of couldn't keep it to himself. The information quickly got to James, to Meg, to Jeff, to Jackie, to Steve. Ultimately, Jeff told Shelly and Clay. Steve told Vanessa and Becky. And Jason decided to also tell J-Mac for good measure. So I think at this point, the only people that don't know, and they may know, but the only people we haven't been told, are Austin and Audrey. So it's not a well-kept secret at this point. And if Devon was planning on using it for leverage, there's not a lot to do left with it.
Yeah. Judd, just to go back to what you were saying about Austin, while he had no idea that this was going to happen, it did turn out to be a move that really does ultimately save Liz this week. Because could you imagine Liz goes up on the block as a pawn, and then Devon is actually the one to figure this out? I mean, what a Hail Mary that would have been for Devon.
It would have been World War III in that house. Seriously, she would have made sure that she stayed in that house this week. And she would have pointed out little things, you know, because I've always wondered, like, what if one of them gets a cut on their knee in a comp or something? Like, is the other one going to just cut their knee? Like, that's insane.
The cutter.
No, that would be crazy. Like, we don't want them to do that. Don't do that. You know, so, I don't know. Like, I've been seeing this on Twitter the past few days, and I'm like, no, because I want both of them to be in the game because they're too hot to not both be in the game. And that's all I want to see is both of them in the game because they're both super freaking hot.
Wow.
Freaking, right?
Judd the stud. Doesn't that ready to go.
Well, you have to appreciate a woman that looks like that. And if there's 2 of them, that's just double trouble.
Double trouble. All right, so let's go through the confrontation. Has Liz been made aware? Liz/Julia been made aware that people are onto them?
Right. So after there was this great, a whole moment Tuesday night, last night when everyone is gathered like really late. Everyone's gathered around the memory wall, just like analyzing the picture. They've come to realize that their faces are morphed on the memory wall. It's half Liz and half Julia. And so, like, they're noticing, like, differences on, like, the sides of the face. And, like, it was funny because, like, Liz is the only person sleeping. And that's, like, we're seeing Liz sleeping and, like, 15 or 14 people speculating about Liz. So it's just a really good contrast. And then
that's why you don't sleep. Get your ass up.
If everyone else is awake, right, that's a bad time to sleep, especially if you've got a secret, because it's
a secret like that. Yeah. How do they ever sleep?
Yeah, you could wake up without your secret. Yeah.
Alex,
yeah, for sure.
How have the house guests been able to differentiate between Liz and Julia?
So there's a few things they've noticed, and actually, I don't notice it, but a couple of people I watched with said that they noticed Julia having a bit of a deeper voice and a little bit more of like a broken nose, and that the eye color is apparently a little different. But the other thing I wanted to tell you is after the news got out to everyone, Devon did the move that I thought she probably should have done originally. She went to Liz and said, "Hey, there's this rumor going around that you're a twin in here. I think it's ridiculous." And basically just kind of like told her what was up just in time for Jeff and Austin's, what do they call it, spiritual and sexual healing podcast that they've done each of the last 2 nights.
Okay, well, we'll talk about the podcast.
Right. But that's where they grilled Liz. So if she didn't get that information right then and there, so she's kind of owes Devon after that.
Yeah, well, Devon is trying to get some votes. But tell me specifically, how have the house guests been able to tell the differences between when one twin is in the house versus the other?
Right, controversial that they've been sticking to. So they're convinced that Julia is much skinnier. I don't know how they've gotten it to a point where they think Julia's like 15 pounds skinnier. Which I don't know how this kind of grew, but that's the way the Big Brother house works.
Right.
She's the mean one, and she's also she's been eating a lot to gain weight, and Liz, the other one, has been working out all the time that she's in there to lose weight. Like, they've just been running with this thing, and it's pretty funny to watch, actually.
Yes.
I see how they could do that, though. Like, I thought that Nick was a twin on my season because I despised him most of the time. I thought, oh, God, you're so boring. And then loved him the other half of the time. We'd play pool and stuff and, like, talk about home and stuff. I was like, this guy's a twin. I made sure I talked about it just in case it was, like, a twist or something. I wanted to talk about it out loud. And so I made up the nickname Rick. And you probably wouldn't notice, but when he's getting evicted, when he's saying his speech, and he's like, hey, Judd, Rick thinks you're a cool guy. It's because I thought it was a twin. So
Two
really,
Nick Uhasses?
yeah, we couldn't have
Darkest
that.
timeline.
Yeah, we couldn't have that.
So the house guests feel like there's two Liz's. One is skinnier but meaner, right? And the other one is 15 pounds heavier but nicer. Is that right, Alex?
Yeah, and the skinny one they've dubbed Cruella, and the heavier one, Day calls her Thickums, which is a thing, and everyone else has started calling her everyone else calling her Helga. I guess like Hey Arnold. Yeah.
Oh, this.
Not my words, Rob. Not my words.
I know. You're just reporting the news.
Yep.
How's this gonna work?
What's that?
How's this gonna work? Like, if they do figure it out, do they just get rid of Julia? Like, does she have to go?
I think they get to still play. I mean, they're gonna keep switching them.
Yeah, my understanding is like they have to be evicted for their twist not to pay off, and like
okay. I thought if it was just
silly for them to keep switching, but no, yeah, it's not like the saboteur at all. And I saw a tweet from Annie that she's mad about that. Interestingly.
So the bad news is that the twins are going to be probably up on the block soon and potentially evicted, and the worst news is that Julia probably leaves Big Brother with an eating disorder. After all this.
Well, let's hope not. That's awful. I hope she don't. They're both beautiful.
This could have been much worse.
No, it could not be much worse, Audrey. It could not have been much worse. For the twins.
I like Julia.
Yeah.
I like Julia.
Boy.
I think didn't Jace make out with Liz, or did he make out with Julia? Let's clear this up.
Do we know?
I think it was like, man, I think it was Liz that liked Jace, and then Jeff was convinced that it was Julia who liked him. And I don't know, but I could be backwards on that.
Yeah, it is funny
to take shit, but he wouldn't know.
With these personality differences, like Jason was talking on one of the things on the feeds about how like he was upset about something, and Julia was like really comforting to him, and Julia is like really nice. And she thinks that Austin is gross, but like Liz comes into the house and is like really standoffish and just hangs out in the backyard in her bathing suit, and she hangs out with Austin all the time. Like one twin really likes Austin and the other one is like really turned off by him.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't think they're
that.
I don't think they're using their 5 minutes together in the DR too effectively.
No.
Yeah. Which one do you like better, Alex?
I couldn't tell when they were. I had to like get people more astute at facial observation and stuff to get on that, because that's just not something I pick up on.
Yeah, and then
I think I like Julia.
Julia. All right, so you were.
Yeah, I'm just gonna guess.
What's that?
Well, I want to try to get the one that Jace didn't make out with, and she's gonna be the one that was like, doing the like emoji with the hearts on the eyes about this season.
Right. Okay. And
I don't want nobody sloppy seconds.
Yeah, that's right. And it sounds like that Liz is meaner. Sounds like that Julia has a better personality.
No, I think Julia is the mean one.
Oh, Julia is the mean one? So
I think so.
So Julia is Cruella and Liz is Thickums?
That's my understanding.
Oh, that's weird. I thought it was the other way around.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's that way. I was looking for a long time to make sure I had the twins right. It could be backwards.
There's always a mean one.
I get tricked up on this kind of thing, but
Be very
right. Diane.
My grandfather was the mean. My grandfather had an identical twin, and he was the mean one. Like, I know for sure.
Okay.
I would want to be the main twin if I was a twin too. It's more fun.
Ideally, you want to be the main twin.
Yeah.
So, okay, tell me about the podcasting going on in the Big Brother house, Alex, and tell me, do I have anything to worry about? Is my show going to be canceled?
I have never seen a less impressive podcast in Big Brother history, so I think you're safe.
Wait, hold on. No, is anybody or any of the live feeders blaming me yet for ruining the Big Brother 17 live feeds?
No, because this was Jeff's idea, and I don't think Jeff knows what Rob Has a Podcast is.
Jeff's the only person besides Jackie on this show that's been a guest on Rob Has a Podcast.
Of course he does. That's right. I just thought about that. Well,
ooh, he's trying to. All right, Rob.
Well,
take it however you want, but it sounds like he's trying to steal your job from you.
Rob. You may have planted that seed.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
right,
yeah, I mean, he's not taking your job.
Podcast. What's it called?
It is called Jeff and Austin's Spiritual and Sexual Healing Show.
Yeah.
And really, it's just been kind of a breakdown of the day for the last 2 nights.
So they talk about.
What the beep does that even mean?
Yeah. So what do they talk about?
I just censored myself.
They've had
what the F is that the name?
That they just there's not a good reason for that.
But that's bizarre. That's just bizarre to me.
But so do they recap? Hold on. Do they recap what's going on in the house, or they talk about other things besides life in the house?
So it's been a bit of both. They'll have like 3 or 4 guests each night and line up like during the day. All right, we're gonna use you tonight, and like Monday night, Devon talked a bit about her life outside the house, and her guy back home whose name is Pooter, who sounds very interesting. And then the next night, Liz was one of the guests. And it's funny because like Jeff has kind of been doing it as a silly thing. Austin is actually really intelligent. I can tell he's using it as a way to get information that he's out of the loop and he doesn't have. So for Austin, this is a strategic play to do these podcasts in a way that it isn't for Jeff. And I think it's actually really smart for his position.
Yeah, I actually think that Austin, and I've seen like video where Austin used to be a host on AfterBuzz TV and I think that's probably why he was at the Big Brother finale recap. That I've seen him like hosting stuff for AfterBuzz. So I bet he's probably a good interviewer, and I think that those would actually be really interesting, especially if they had non-game conversations, like just like an interview format, like sitting down and having like long-form conversations about interesting things that may have happened in their lives. But yeah, the other part where you talk about what Jeff is doing sounds less interesting.
Yeah, no, I mean, some of that was really great. Like, Devon turned to the camera at one point during her she was talking about her life, outside of the game and how difficult it's been. And she turned to the camera and just was speaking to girls at home and say, learn from my example. You don't need the validation of a man to make it in this world. And it was like really a powerful and rare moment that you don't get from, like, in terms of depth and character from Big Brother players, I feel like, very often.
Yeah.
But then, with Liz, when they had her up there, the whole point of having her as a guest was to try to find inconsistencies in her story. And they found one. The biggest one was Liz had previously told this whole story about a terrible blind date that she had to run away from. And they asked Julia about her dating history, and she says she'd never had a bad date. And I know people caught that. So that was a huge...
Yeah, damn.
But you said Austin's one of the only people that doesn't know about it. Is this on the podcast?
Yeah, this was during their podcast.
But Austin didn't know the first version of the story?
See, Austin hasn't been told directly. I don't know if Austin is aware, but no one's told him. So, I don't know. He might have not picked up on that. But other people did, and we're talking about it later.
All right. Speaking of things that people are picking up on, let's get to the phone call with Kathy Griffin. Where do we stand with the Last Laugh competition?
So the phone call process is over, and it happened when feeds were down, which is a bit curious. Obviously, anytime things are happening when feeds are down, you're going to get speculation about what could this mean. And when feeds came back, we gradually learned that they kind of drew numbers, it seems, for who would get what call, and Day was caller number 7. So
Caller
Day
number
has received
7. Judd,
It seems so fishy, but I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Does that jump out to you?
Yeah, I mean, everything seems so fishy whenever you're in that house. I remember watching the show and seeing them dig in that little bag, and I thought, oh, grab all the chips out and make sure they're all there, you know? So I remember whenever I was there, and I knew that Amanda had grabbed, she got Drew for the POV, which ultimately saved her and McCrae. And I was like, I'm going to look. And I looked real quick, and everybody's chips were in there, you know, because I was like, it can't be, you know. And they're actually in there. It's just like the BB universe is against some people at times. It's like, how does this even go on? You know, like you get so frustrated. Even as a viewer, you know, I see somebody get drawn. I'm like, that can't be right, you know. But it just happens. It's luck. There's so much luck in that game.
All right. So, Alex, how did the phone call process? Has anybody talked about it? About how it actually went down?
Yeah, they talked about it a bit. Basically, like, they took turns answering the phone, and everybody who wasn't the 7th caller basically got like a mini insult from her. And I guess when Day answered the phone as caller 7, the twist was explained to her.
Okay. So do we know
like
when she will be able to cancel out those votes? Is that gonna? Does she stand up? Does she say it in the diary room beforehand? Do we have any idea on how this is gonna work?
To be honest, if it's been said, I haven't seen it because I don't think, you know, the one time, you know, I don't think she's discussed that at length with any of the players. She's mentioned that she has it to Jason, but
Okay.
like, she talked to us about how she was going to use it. I don't think there's anything beyond that.
Okay. So we've got this twist. We've got things going on with the twins. Does any of this change anything for Devon?
Oh, Rob, it really looked like she had, you know, a lot of, you know, Ian talks about information as currency in the game, and it looked like she had a pretty full wallet with all the stuff that came the last couple of days, but I don't think she's going to be able to buy any votes with it. It looks like she's going home tomorrow regardless.
Do you think that they will cover the twin twist being exposed on the Thursday night episode?
I think it's a really good question. I think that's where it needs to logically fit. But I just don't know with the BB takeovers that taking up as much time on Thursdays, it might have to be like pushed to Sunday.
It's interesting to me.
Yeah, Sunday episodes are boring anyway. So
yeah, it's interesting to me because I feel like that it's a thing where if the next HOH is going to be targeting Liz, you could almost fit it in that episode. But so much of it is about Devon discovering it. I wonder if they would potentially have enough footage to be able to make it look like Jason discovered it, cut everything with Devon out of this storyline, and then just move it to whoever becomes the next HOH, and then targeting Liz because of the twin twist is exposed.
I could see that happen.
Okay.
That's a pretty good theory.
Let's see. It'll be something to watch for on Thursday night. All right, so that's the vote. We talked about the twins. We talked about the 7th caller, podcast. Anything else of note going on that we should be talking about, Alex?
Sure, yeah. I mean, there's always good stuff going on. I mean, Vanessa and Steve have formed an official Final 2 that they have called the Students of Sound.
Students of Sound.
Vanessa is a DJ and Steve's an audio engineer.
Okay, Judd, what do you think of this alliance?
I think it's awesome. I think that's like one alliance nobody would ever suspect. You know, I think Vanessa and Steve, if I were in there, I mean, unless they're just like talking to each other all the time, I would never suspect this. You know what I mean? And you know, I've seen the feeds here and there, and I didn't see them together, you know, because, you know, I've been out of town and stuff all week and stuff. So I think that's awesome. There's so many different alliances and sides in this house that people could go to. This has the potential to be my favorite cast since even season 10.
Wow.
And,
all right.
Yeah, and that's my favorite. Like, it'll always be my favorite, season 10. But I don't know. This is probably my favorite cast so far, but I just see a lot of potential in it. And so you see people like Vanessa and Steve working together for a Final 2. That's amazing. You know, I like that. And I hope that there's different sides. The votes are not unanimous every week like the past 2 seasons have been. And that we see. I feel like I'm watching Big Brother again, you know? Like, I love this season.
Yeah. I think this has been a really good season so far, and it's showing no signs of slowing down. And This has been a lot going on, a lot to talk about through 7 episodes. So hopefully, knock on wood, it's going to continue going that way. I do see this last laugh having the potential to just be a big bust this week, where especially if it's revealed that Devon was the 7th caller and she can cancel the votes, and ultimately if it doesn't do anything, the 3 people that get their votes canceled by Devon, you lose any possibility of that having ramifications of hurt feelings, because it's like Devon has canceled the votes of Clay, Johnny, and Austin. Like, what? And then she gets kicked off.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so on. You know,
Yeah.
by a vote of 5-0, or
It
whatever.
seems so
however the vote
exciting.
is. Right. So we're
Seems
9-0.
so exciting, but you know, I feel like we know what's gonna happen, and it's not gonna be that exciting.
Yeah. It's like, what? How could she do
Not
that?
Judd Daugherty.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah, it is a shame. It is a shame. I felt like she, there was probably a window there, but I don't know, where it was exactly. I just know she seems to have missed it.
So right now, potentially through 2 weeks, BB Takeover has had pretty much 0 impact on the entire game. Almost none.
Fair statement. I'm just waiting for Jeff Probst to bring in the idols, Rob.
Well, maybe you could argue that could be part of the reason why the season has been so good.
Yeah.
It's been a toothless twist.
Case in point, Judd loves BB10, back to basics. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's why I like it.
Yeah.
That's why I like it. It's so basic.
Yeah.
You know, it's like no extreme twist. Everything. I don't know. This season could be great. Like, I hated that Battle of the Block was back. Like, my least favorite twist of all time. Like, I hated MVP too, but I was there, so it's a little different. But watching the show, Battle of the Block is my least favorite twist. Hope to never see it again. Here it is again. But I don't hate it as much as I did last season.
Okay.
You know, I feel like maybe it's because they don't all get along like they did last year. I don't know, but I love this season so far.
Alex, could you confirm for me, at one point tonight, did Audrey refer to Mama Day as Mama Demon?
Yeah, actually twice tonight. And it's interesting, we haven't seen it on the air show, but apparently Day has been calling her Slytherin in the DR. So you've got this interesting dynamic between Mama Demon and Slytherin. They're just both villainizing the hell out of each other, and it's pretty great.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
Mama
can I ask you about this, Alex? I seen earlier just on Twitter where Audrey and Day were talking to each other and I guess supposedly making up or whatever. Like, could that impact anything or not?
Basically, they were, I think, just getting over. Earlier today, there was another big blow-up between the two of them. Oh. And I think it was just resolving that. It was so bad that James put a box on his head and pretended to hide in the corner, which was hysterical. But, I mean, basically, Audrey was back at it today. She went to Meg and said that Austin and Vanessa were trying to turn it around. And Meg just went to everyone and said, Audrey's making me uncomfortable. So it didn't work. And then she went to Day, and Day went to Audrey and just kind of put her on blast again. And everyone was eavesdropping, and James was covering his face. It was kind of weird and funny.
Okay. All right, let's get to some more of these questions. Why don't we start off with Logan Rex. Says, the Clay Johnny Mac conversation with Johnny Mac's DR was the funniest thing so far this season. Yeah, it really was very funny with Clay being like, all right, so here's what I want you to do. You're going to be, no, I don't want to do
the button.
Come on. No.
Yeah, now Johnny, I want you to understand. Johnny. When I say something, I will not throw it out there unless I'm sure my word is good, and I will sacrifice my own game to make sure that that my word is upheld. That will not happen on my watch.
You sound just like him.
I've been working on my play a little bit.
No.
Where are you from, Alex?
Maryland, but I've got family from Tennessee.
You do a good Southern accent, brother.
It's good.
It's the Tennessee family.
Let's go to the basketball boss. What do you guys think will happen first? Audrey walking out of the house or Liz and Julia walking into the house together? I would say that it's going to be Audrey walking out of the house because I don't think Liz and Julia. I don't think the second thing is happening.
Yeah, I don't think it's happening either. I wish it would, but
yeah.
You know.
Sorry, Judd. I know that those are your girls, but they're going to be on the outside with you sooner.
Yeah, but I want to see them beautiful ladies taking that money home.
Yeah.
And then maybe Julia might want to hang out with me, and we can spend that
Are
money
you
wisely.
sure it's not Liz that you like?
I don't know. Whoever didn't make out with Jace. Jace is my boy, so I don't want to I don't want any sloppy seconds here.
That's not
I'm too
fair,
fresh for
Judd. Why?
I'm Tennessee
Why do we have
here.
to be penalized? Yeah. They talk in like a very, come on, that's not right.
No, I was listening to the live feeds with my headphones in the other night, and whichever one of them it was, Alex, you might know, at the pool table, squealed or something, and I seriously was like, ah! Like I was at Caleb's in Kentucky, and I was just like, ah, God, like it like irks me, but I was like, oh, at least they're hot though. God.
Yeah, that can go a long way.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go.
Like I was there for like 20 minutes.
Scranton Analytics. Scranton, home of Johnny Mac. Rob, Judd, and Alex, are you surprised there hasn't been more television time for Jeff? Because he seems to be a constant present on the feeds and Big Brother After Dark, and he's also a CBS reality TV contestant, you would think. Are you guys surprised that there has not been more Jeff screen time, Judd?
There's no reason to edit him into the story right now. Anybody that watched the show that I was on, you didn't even know I was in there till like the 4th week when I won HOH or whatever, unless you watch the feeds. Most of my fans are from the feeds, or they watch me wear silly costumes and be in solitary, But the feeds, like are so life-saving for Big Brother players because you have people that actually know that you were there playing the game or whatever, and I just don't think there's any reason that they need to throw him in the diary room and get information they don't need because it's not really been that game-changing what he's doing or anything. He's not made any huge moves. He might think he is, and we might think he is on the feeds, but to the story of the show, I don't think that he really adds anything to it, and that's why I think that they're not going to get a lot of DR from him.
All right. How about this? Judd, would you say through 2 weeks of the show premiered 2 weeks ago tonight, have Jeff and Jackie been a bust?
I think they've done a really good job from what I've seen on the feeds of staying away from each other, like making it clear that they're there to play Big Brother and they're not working together, but it's always going to be an easy scapegoat to throw them up against each other.
Has the experiment to put Jeff and Jackie, you could have any 2 other replacement people who weren't from The Amazing Race, has the decision to bring in Jeff and Jackie from The Amazing Race been a bust?
I have no idea because I've never really watched Amazing Race besides when Rachel and Brandon were on All Stars. I watched a few episodes of that, and I watched a little bit of Jeff and Jordan on there. I'm not a fan of the show, so I've not really watched it that much, so I can't really say that I know who they were. Like, whenever I first seen them, I was like, I guess they're just 2 new people that I don't have a beeping clue who they are.
Okay. Alex,
I did good there.
Yeah. Judd's being very political.
No, I didn't cuss. I wanted to cuss.
Yeah, no. I think Jeff is bringing a lot more to the feeds. I think Jackie is not a great, I think they hoped, because she's fit and because she's attractive, that we're going to have, the kind of player that we hope for. And I think they actually got something better in Jeff, which Jeff is, we've made Audrey Devon comparisons, but Jeff is the true Devon of this season because Audrey is perceptive and picks up on things when people are kind of wary. Devon and Jeff have none of that, and that's why Jeff is more of a true Devon because he'll pick up on something that may or may not be there to be picked up on, and then he'll just roll with it and just tell everybody everything there is to tell. I mean, he is really...
He's not as bad as Devon.
Yeah,
Devin's
paranoid.
the biggest travesty I've ever met. He's the worst human being I've ever met in my life.
Whoa, hold on. Is there a story here, Judd?
Yeah, he's a scumbag from... I think they found him in the pits of hell. I don't know.
Wait, hold on. What happened between you and Devon? He wasn't even on your season.
Oh, yeah, but he stayed with us for half a month, made up lots of lies about me while I was in Tennessee, had my roommates they didn't believe him because he's such a nut job. But yeah, tried to
he
screw up a lot
he
of
came
things.
to your house in real life and then did the Devon from Big Brother thing in your house in real life?
Yes, I swear that is who you see on your television is how he is in real life. He stayed at our house for 19 days. He made sure he let us know specifically. I was there 19 days. Because one of my roommates wanted him to pay some money, I guess, that he was going to pay them. I hardly ever seen him. Woke
Did
me
someone
up
tell him
every
the game
morning,
was over?
Yeah.
So delirious, like thinking of these weird scenarios that, I don't know, spreading rumors and stuff. I'm just like, dude,
Wow.
what the?
Did you get your roommates
He's
in the
a
bomb squad?
nutcase. Like, that dude needs to be in an asylum and throw away the key. Cause,
Oh my God. Was
yeah,
he at
or
your
get some
household
Hollywood. He
or
needs
in
an
the Big Brother
exorcism
household?
on him. I need the real Devon to stand up because there's like 9 of them, and throw some holy water on him, do an exorcism on him, something. That dude is crazy.
Wow. Judd's not being political now.
Yeah.
A lot of
Yeah,
people
this
can
is-
vouch. Reality, he was a nut job too, from what I heard.
All right, I'll have to, now I have a good reason to have Jillian back on the podcast. Jillian.
Well, I don't know.
what's with Devon?
I don't know if she was around.
He was out of control.
Jillian's a sweetheart. Don't ask her
Don't
about
even
him.
get me started on Devon. All right, this is from Spicy Wasabi. Said, did Day and Jason screw up their knowledge of the twin twist by telling everyone and not utilizing it as a bargaining tool to blackmail Liz? Judd, should Devon have tried to use her knowledge as more of a weapon?
Yeah, I think that it would be smart, but at the same time, you got to think, if you're her and you're running around saying that, if people don't believe it, then they're going to think she's crazy. But I guess it looks like the whole house kind of is a little suspicious about it. So I think it'd be a smart move. You know, like, I kind of don't understand if that was even a thing before the renomination, why Shirley wasn't a little more weary about that.
Yeah. Alex, all of this broke after nominations were made, right?
Yeah, not long at the same day.
See, I didn't know that.
Because, yeah, they were talking about how unfortunate it was that they couldn't now renom Liz. It had just happened. Yeah,
Yeah, I know. So crazy.
I just hope word gets around to Liz. She just doesn't get out in her bikini and doesn't scratch herself, you know. Don't get any crazy tattoos, you know, without telling Julia.
I mean,
No,
could the
seriously,
twins...
though.
Are the twins making a mistake? Do you think should they just own it? Like, would they be evicted if they just owned it? If Liz is like, yeah, you got me. We're
You
twins.
know, like, that's such a hard thing because, you know, that's like a 50-50. You know, it's like flipping a coin. You know, because either they're going to react like, what the beep, or they're going to be, most people will, but if she told, like, Austin, he'll be like, oh, wow, I have 2 people I can trust. Even though one of them thinks he's disgusting, he don't have to know that. And, you know, it could work to their advantage. Austin could do the work for them. You know, he could talk to people. I feel like he could get across better to people than Liz/Julia could.
I got it. So Liz, okay, so Julia needs to get everybody together in the living room and be like, guys, I have something to tell you. My sister is a famous person. She's on TV. She's kind of a big deal. She's on a show called Big Brother.
Don't do that.
Mega reality star.
Oh, whoa. Big Brother. Okay, now I got you. I'm like, I thought you were about to say
Like,
a pop star. I was
what?
like, ugh.
Your sister's famous? Like, yeah, so...
No.
Hey, it worked for Frankie. Got him out of trouble,
It worked
Judd.
for him. I don't know how in tarnation it worked, but it did.
Yeah, I still feel like the right play is pull the Audrey here. Just deny long past the point of like reasonability. Should keep denying.
Like, but
They can't prove it.
At the point where everybody knows, like, won't there be the thing, like, one of them comes out of the diary room and they all realize it and it's like cheers and like, Liz, like, oh, fake Liz, hey, how's it going? Like,
Deny. Just you guys are silly. Just deny
too.
it. You have no. Where's your empirical evidence, Rob? Where's the empirical evidence?
You got receipts? Somebody got receipts? And that's what.
Yeah. Where's the
Just
paper
get,
trail?
like,
Where's
straight wild card. Y'all got receipts? Y'all got receipts? Confuse everybody and then run the hell on, you know?
yeah. Okay.
They'll be confused about the receipts. They'll be like, well, the twins are here.
Dave22XX, Clay is playing one of the best games a superfan has played in years. What are your thoughts on Clay? Judd, what do you think of Clay's game as a superfan? Clay as a superfan, as a self-proclaimed superfan. How do you think his game is as a superfan?
From what I've heard, Clay's mom held Big Brother on her iPad up to her belly when she was pregnant with him.
Wow!
And so he's a huge fan. We all know that. Just kidding. He discovered it in like January. Whenever somebody told him he should be on the show. Shut up, Clay. Who is even asking this? Jackie Stacky. Come on now.
Wow.
He's playing a decent game, but I don't know why we gotta throw the superfan comment. Hey, I thought I was a superfan until I got Twitter, and now I'm like, whoa, maybe I wasn't.
I can't believe Clay's mom had the live feeds on an iPad. Wow.
Yeah, on the iPad, like 20 years ago, like she's the only one that had one at the time, But he listened to season 1. He was a big. He was a big Josh fan. He was really disappointed that Eddie won.
Well, I think at some point, 15 years ago.
That's another twist. It's a summer filled with twists. So.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Clay's mom was like.
What's that?
I was just gonna say Clay's mom was like Sarah Connor back in the '80s with future technology.
Yeah. I can't believe Clay's mom had the Big Brother 1 live feeds up to her pregnant belly. Wow.
Wow.
Probably the 90s.
Yeah.
He's like 23. He's probably like the 90s.
Must have been international Big Brother live feeds. All right, Jackie Stacky says, who was the winner and loser in the Audrey Clay middle school conversation? Like, oh, that was so awkward where Clay's like, hey, can we just, have a conversation? And she's like, yeah, tell me. And then she went right into game talk. And then, but don't let Audrey stay at your house for 19 days, Judd. I don't think that's going to go well either.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Man, she makes me need one of my happy pills, I think. If you were in my house, I'd be like, I'd be George Jones in it for the weekend.
Chicken George?
George Jones. George Jones in it.
Oh. I thought that was his real name. All right. Then the American Cow says, is there any way in hell Devon can rally the votes by tomorrow? Alex, tell us, what % certainty do you have that Devon will be evicted tomorrow night?
Oh, man.
Hundo?
No, it's not a hundo. I mean, who knows? Anything can be flipped in a night, but I'm going to say certainly like 96. Like, it's really, really rough.
This
What's hundo mean? Wait, what does hundo mean?
Hundo.
That's the John Party.
Yeah.
100%. Not big on John Party either.
Who's John Party?
Oh, Big Brother
exactly.
Canada.
Next.
That's right. But we're talking about the real Party Darty, not the John Party.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, John Party's a nobody.
John Clark wants to know, are Jason and Steve talking too much about past seasons of BB? I heard Jason talk about twists from BB Can and BB UK. Hey, Alex, I have no issue with Jason and Steve's conversations about Big Brother.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, me personally, I feel like it has taken Jason. He's doing a little too much. It's taken him a little bit out of that Andy fan characteristic where it's like I'm a big fan, but I'm not telling everyone everything I know, and putting him like squarely in Max Dawson Town.
Oh, Dawson Town.
Not where you want to be living, Rob.
He gave a shout out to Nikki Graham.
To
and
who?
she's like, if y'all know who Nikki Graham is, she's been on Big Brother UK 3 times. Like, he's throwing his cards out there because I know if I were sitting there, I'd be like, who is that, you know? And so he's saying that he watches Big Brother UK. But also Aubrey, I think, she mentioned Intruders at the beginning whenever they didn't know what the twist was. And Intruders, from what I understand, they only refer to in Australia. So I think she watches that. So she's keeping a good close on it, you know? Like, she's not, like, running around like, oh, I watch all the formats. But he's, like, exposing his beef out there like crazy.
Okay. All right, let's do one more question tonight. Bro Aid wants to know, who are the 2 people you want to see win the next HOH for the best TV? Okay. Bro Aid says that the kids are watching. And Judd is smoking, but hey, they smoke on the live feeds. They do smoke on the live feeds, and also on the TV show. So.
Yeah, I smoked all. Did you not see me trade? Like
it's like we're on the board. It's like we're watching feeds right now. Yes.
5 cigarettes.
Okay. All right.
Like it's barter.
Who's the best TV when they become HOH tomorrow night, or at least half the HOH? Judd, who is it?
I want to see. I don't want to see somebody I really like to win, but I want to see somebody that I kind of like to win. So I like to see like James win it, and also somebody like kind of on the other side. I would say Austin. I would say Liz. I would like to see her because then that way the twins are not going to go out more than likely, because you know it looks like they're going to like keep whoever got the second HOH safe so far. But you know that was Shelly's HOH. These people are playing their own game though. So just because somebody's safe, I could still see them putting them up. You know, if you're suspicious of them.
Alex, any other thoughts on this?
Yeah. I think I would like to see either Audrey and Liz or Audrey and Steve because I think that's best for entertainment, personally. I'd love to see everyone scrambling to the Audrey and to Steve, honestly, who they make fun of. So I think it'd be great to see the scrambling. They don't know.
You know what? I do think for Audrey, getting HOH would be really good for her game. Because, well, one, she's going to get HOH-itis, but at least the initial, like, who wants to see my HOH room and pictures and like, she needs to get back on message with this whole transition and her journey and all these, like, she needs to get people back talking to that. That's what's going to be helping her.
She could draw the line.
Yeah.
If she got HOH, she could really draw the line in the game too, I think.
Well, I think that's going to be bad for business for her. I think she needs to get back to like, hey, look at my family, look at her, like back to good feelings that people had about her on night one.
Right.
Get people back to rooting for her and not be like.
Yeah, that's the thing though. Like you got to understand. Like this is one thing that I was kind of worried about Audrey at the beginning. You had like Julie rooting for her, like openly on the talk and stuff, and I was just thinking as a fan, you know, she could go in there and be the biggest villain, worst person ever. Like stop crying and like we've not seen anything yet, Julie. You know, like, and I love Julie. I'm not throwing any shade towards her, but it's just like she's kind of proving herself to kind of be like one of those wishy-washy like people so early in the game. Not, you know, she's got some fans and stuff, but. Yeah, I think she would have to get an HOH or something to get people back on her side. But it's just like,
all right.
I don't know. I'm just not a fan. Like, but I could be a fan. Like, it's so early in the game right now. Like, my stuff's gonna change up. Like, I might despise Johnny Mac next week. You know, because it's like just starting.
No. Sorry. It can happen.
No,
all right.
I won't.
Tomorrow night, we'll be back with Ian Terry. I need a hashtag for this episode. I got some nominees for you guys, all right? You ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay. Hashtag nominee number 1. Devon Exorcism. that was
Devon Exorcism.
Hashtag number 2. It's kind of a related. Mama Demon.
No,
Mama
not
Demon.
that.
And option number 3 for hashtag Dawson Town.
No, Devon
a resident
Exorcism.
of Dawson Town?
Let's get Devon Exorcism like trending. He needs this in his life.
Yeah, Devon.
Ever be a decent human being, he needs this exorcism. So.
All right, that's the first. That's
Let's
the
create
first.
a GoFundMe or something, you know. Shit.
All right.
Oh, shoot.
All right, Judd is worked up tonight. Judd, thank you so much. This is great. It was great fun. Fun show tonight.
Yeah. I've had a blast. Are y'all going to be coming to Give Kids the World in Orlando this year?
Nah, I am not going to be able to make it down this year, but I know it's a great event. What weekend is it?
I'd have to look at my calendar. I don't have it like in front
coming
of
up
me right
this
now.
summer. It's a great event. They raise a lot of money for charity. So look at what is it? GiveKidsTheWorld.org.
Yes, or you can also go to heartsofreality.com and it links straight to Give Kids the World.
All right, great stuff. Lots of fun tonight. We're gonna be back tomorrow night with Ian Terry. Subscribe to the podcast. Make sure you never miss an episode of Rob is a Podcast at robisawebsite.com/iTunes or with our iTunes or our app for iOS or Android at robisawebsite.com/app. You can listen to all the episodes of the show and download them as well plus do things like listen to our audiobooks and things like that, all on the RHAP app, available wherever you get your apps for Android or in the Apple iOS store. Also, I am always looking for people to help out with recaps of these podcast episodes, specifically for the Wednesday night and Sunday night shows. If you are interested in being a part of our recap team and writing the summaries for these episodes, definitely let me know. Send me a tweet at Rob Cesternino. All right, Judd, great job. You can follow Judd on Twitter. He's at Judd Nation. There he is. You can still see him. It got darker during the podcast. You can still see him. And then also, Alex will be with us again next Wednesday, and maybe for any breaking news in between, he's at Alex Kidwell.
Thanks a lot, Rob. Always so much fun talking with you. And hey, Judd, this was a pleasure.
Oh yeah, the pleasure's all mine, brother.
All right, well, we'll be back on Thursday night live for our podcast, 10:15 p.m. Eastern, with Ian Terry and live feed updates from Brent Wolgamont. And then on Friday, I will speak with the second player evicted from the Big Brother house in our Big Brother exit interview on Friday. All that's coming up, Rob's podcast. Have a great night, everybody. We'll talk to you again soon.